So thank you for your patience. We were resolving, and I'm stating this for the students who were not present in our first class, because we had some students that are joining us asynchronously. They're going to watch this video later. I sent an email through Blackboard with a link to help anyone who's on campus trying to connect with Buck's Wi-Fi using a Pixel or any Android device where it just doesn't clear the login for Buck's Wi-Fi. What we're doing here in this course, we will meet 1 hour per week, actually 50 minutes, from 2 p.m. to 2:50 p.m. And what we're going to do is walk through what it is you're doing each week. So this is an independent course, a self-paced course, and a virtual course. And there are two flavors to this this course, right? Hang on just a second. So there are two flavors to this course. And one of the things that I'd tell you is that the first way to roll the activities of this course is to use your own personal technology. And what we're going to do first in our first module, the first assignment you will have is to share that you have rented or purchased the $6 or $7 textbook. It's a Kindle textbook. It's peanuts, right? But then the other thing I'm going to want you to do is to share what capacities you have for your personal technology. And then I want you to do some things to optimize your personal technology. And that's because I want you to be able to create virtual systems. We want to build some virtual machines using your own personal technology. And that's very satisfying because even if you have limited hardware, there are lots of cool virtual machines you can run on your personal technology. Now, the other flavor of this course is for us to account for the kind of hardware that you have for your personal technology. And if we view this through a basic lens of minimum required hardware, right? And we say, this is going to be painful and slow for you. Then what we're going to do is give you the opportunity to create your virtual systems online in the cloud. And this is the first time that we've done this for this course. So I'm really jazzed about this because essentially, as long as you have a screen like a flat screen TV and you have a cordless keyboard and a mouse, even if you don't have Butkus at home for personal technology, you don't need a gaming laptop, you don't need a PC, you don't need expensive stuff. As long as you have the basics, you can connect online to your system and build these things, okay? So that's the other flavor of the course. We have to determine early which flavor you can do. And what we'll find out is that some of you are good with the first option until we get to about the midterms and we start turning up the dials, and then you're like, oh, my laptop it's slow, it's not keeping up with this. So we can shift the gear. You can change flavors at any time, okay? But I would recommend everyone try to make their own personal technology work to begin with. So this is to cultivate awareness and appreciation of computer science as a practical discipline. And in order to implement and maintain robust, stable, and secure computing environments, professionals must often work with hardware, software, operating systems, and networks in virtual environments. So what we're going to do is essentially engage best practices, and we're going to be doing more than reading, doing more than studying, okay? The modules, if you've had me for an instructor in other courses, they are formatted and framed in a similar manner where you have the topics and learning objectives, and then you have the assignments and so on. Everybody with me so far? I don't want to spend a huge amount of time on this. And then if you click into the module, you have a study guide, you have the resources. These are where the videos of the classes are linked, right? So you can basically watch the class if you can be here, and the resources. You do need to memorize what's in the study guide. Let me say that again. You do need to memorize what's in the study guide if you want to do well on the module assessment. You'll often see in references, the reason this is the solution walkthrough is in references is because the stuff that's in here is what you need to know to do the hands-on. Now, if it's in the references folder, you got to know it for your assessment. And if the solution steps and tasks that you perform, this is a little different than some of my other courses. Okay, so I want to call this out. If you go in here, what you should see is that it says study, memorize these references before you attempt the module assessment. So here's a hint. If the steps and tasks you have to follow to complete the solution are embedded instead in the references folder and not in the resources folder, because it's like oh, I'll watch the video if I need to. I saw this in class. This is easy. I've done this before. Right? Some of you have had experience with virtual machines. Some of you are going to walk through this very fast. In this course, if you see it in the references folder, even if it has to do with solutions or assignments, it's fair game on the assessment. I will ask you, hey, a student tried to do this with their virtual machine. What does it mean? That's because we'll demonstrate goofs and mistakes and screw-ups in our class. But you may also experience those things when you're doing the solution, when you're doing the hands-on thing, right? So if I call it out in class and it's part of the, hey, be sure to do this so you don't have this problem, and it's something I mentioned verbally and on screen only for the solution, just because it's not in the study guide doesn't mean you won't get questions on it. That is a distinct difference for this course compared to my other classes. Does everybody get what I'm talking about? Okay. In my other classes, there's more content, there's more ideas and academic material and methods, but this is more hands-on. The goal every Thursday is for me to share quick information about the main ideas and then to demonstrate and then to turn you loose. And then you do it. And then you turn it in. And that's it. It's a one-credit course. Now, if you've had me in other courses in previous semesters, there is one other difference I would like to call out. And then we're done today. Oh, so here's the link for the textbook. And I found out today it was $8.99 if you order it as a Kindle book, or if you already belong to Kindle Unlimited, it's free. There is no cost. So I don't know if you're into Kindle, but you know, if you have Kindle Unlimited, you pay $10 a month, and anything that a lot of things you want to download from in terms of books, it's just free for $10 a month. Pretty good deal. That's our textbook. And yes, you need to have it for the course. And yes, you need to show you laid hold of it. Any questions about that? Okay. We do want you to understand, I used to allow people to turn in work at any time during the semester. And last semester I got beat up a bit because I have this thing about scoring student submissions. You want to do them all together. And I've explained this in a lot of other classes, so I apologize if you are hearing this again. But the research tells us that if I'm scoring student submissions as a professor, I need to do all of them at the same time in the same setting, because that helps for consistency. I grade the same for everybody. So if I'm grumpy with everybody. If I'm happy with everybody. What I've been doing in the past is holding off on the grading until the stragglers catch up. If you are a straggler, I'm telling you right here and right now, this is one change from last season or previous seasons. When there's a deadline on the list, when you look in the module, if there's a deadline that's stated, after 10 calendar days beyond the deadline, if you want to submit late or resubmit for more credit, and we're 10 days past the calendar. Example, September 13th. Let's say that it's September 13th, 2023 is the deadline, and it's the deadline that shows here on the cover page, and you see it down here. Now you see 2022 dates. I'm going to update all of that so it reflects 2023 dates, right? So let's pretend we see September 13th, 2023. That's the stated deadline. All right. If it's September 23rd and your pants are on fire and the dog ate your laptop because it's a mean dog, it's a blue-nosed pit bull, right? If you come to me on the 24th and you say, hey, can I still turn in? The answer categorically is going to be, I'm sorry, were you not there at the beginning of the semester? Because I got to get these graded and back to students, all students, especially the students that turned them in on time. So I don't get beat up later in the semester. So on the one hand, I want to give students more time to turn them in and catch it up. But if I wait too long, then the other students are kind of frustrated with me. And the only way to resolve this, I've been doing this for years, and I've said I'm not going to do it anymore. It's in the syllabus now. I am doing it this year. Now, what happens if you send me something on the 22nd or the 23rd of September, and you explain that you have extenuating circumstances? I may adjust the deadline on the screen. Or I may decide instead that I'm just going to grant you an extension. I'm not going to advertise it to everybody else in the class, but your case is so unique. I'm just going to grant you a separate extension because you took the courtesy, you spent the time to send me something in a format of record. You sent an email that said, hey, we had a car wreck. My laptop was ruined. We thought we'd be able to just rent another car and then the insurance would let me go to Best Buy, but I still don't have a laptop. And I need to log in and I need something to connect to the virtual machine. I want the second flavor of this course now, because by the time I get a laptop, it might be Thanksgiving, right? If you send me something like that, I'm not going to crucify you. I'm going to qualify your case as an administrative exception, and I have the record to back me up. So I will grant an exception, provided you let me know within 10 days of the deadline. After 10 days, I'm just going to say, yeah, if I start making exceptions now, it's going to be like every other year and, not good, right? So we're going to work differently this year because we have better technology on the campus. You have virtual machines. So if your laptop blows up and you give me a heads up and you say, my laptop was just run over in the parking lot and I don't have the money, they're not going to write a check. I can't go to Office Max. I just need to be able to connect to that virtual machine, and I don't even have that. I'll say, do you have a smart screen? Do you have a smart TV at home? Here's a Raspberry Pi. Use the Raspberry Pi and this cordless keyboard and mouse to connect to your virtual machine and keep on trucking. Everybody got what I'm saying? The key is to let me know. So as long as you communicate and you're forthright with situations, we're fine. So this isn't a hard fast. Yeah, it's 11 days afterwards, 0, right? 2 weeks afterwards, 0. That's not what we're talking about here. I don't want to freak anybody out. Still plenty of latitude, but let's face it. If people turn in something and they worked hard on it, they'd like to have a grade sooner, and I get that. The only way for me to do that fairly is not to grade everybody's stuff 2 weeks apart, 10 days apart, all that kind of stuff.
The TV.
The TV went to sleep mode. TV went to sleep mode. Tap to cancel. Thank you. All right. Any questions before we close? We're done for our session. I will post some quick assignments, and then we'll see you next Thursday, and we'll get started on the virtual stuff. And thank you for joining us today. That's all I had for our session today. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you.